To all the viewers, hello to you all. Welcome tuning in with CGTN New Media coming to you from the National Museum of China, and also welcome our special coverage. This is Global Museum Director's Choice, and today is the grand opening. We, of course, here are live streaming. We bring you something different. That's a big feast, and of course, you always can stay tuned with CGTN New Media to find more about the assets of the National Museum of China. And also we have more to come in today's live streaming to show you the beauty of civilizations. And of course, there are a lot of fans waiting for this big day. And also we will continue our dialogue and also connect different civilizations throughout the timeline. And with us, we have Mr. Wang, and the director of the National Museum of China. And also coming to you, this is a very special event. We talk about today, that's the opening ceremony of our big event. That's the Treasure Hunt Relay Global Museum Director's Choice. And that's a hand-in-hand share the splendor of world civilizations 2022. We talk about, we not only show you the China side, we also show you that the 24 directors also join us from foreign museums across 5 continents. They will also showcase the splendid achievements of a human civilization through the display of close to 150 fine collections. Domestically, and we can see that we have a National Museum of China, and also with us we have the other 8 directors from different museums. So starting from today, from July 6th to July 11th, and the National Museum of China and 33 leading museums at home and abroad will gather online to jointly hold the event Treasure Hunt Relay. Throughout this big feast and also travel throughout the time, we can learn more about the splendor. And we believe museums actually also provide a very important platform for exchanges and mutual learning among civilizations. We talk about the Treasure Hunt Relay. We believe this is a very meaningful exploration and a practice among different countries. We believe a museum actually can bring people together. Let me announce that the Global Museum Director's Choice Treasure Hunt Relay Hand in Hand 2022 Share the Splendor of World Civilizations start now. And please always stay tuned. With CGTN New Media, we bring you that the world civilizations and to enjoy the beauty of the world. Yes, indeed. Hand in hand, let's start our tour towards the splendor of world civilizations. Once again, welcome to our first day at the National Museum of China. And once again, it's live streaming. And you can find more at CGTN New Media. And we talk about this is a very special day, Museum Art Palace for sheltering and inheriting human civilization and important platforms for exchanges and mutual learning among civilizations. From July 6th to July 11th of 2022, the National Museum of China and 33 leading museums at home and abroad will gather online to jointly hold the event. Treasure Hunt Relay Global Museum Director's Choice under the theme of Hand in Hand Share the Splendor of World Civilizations. 10 directors from domestic museums will join hands to effectively tell China's stories and convey China's voice. Together with 24 directors from foreign museums across 5 continents, they will showcase the splendid achievements of human civilization through the display of close to 150 fine collections. Talking about the National Museum of China, that's the host of our day one. We talk about you always can have something different experience every time you visit National Museum of China. As the holder would be director of the museum, what you can tell us? We talk about here, you can find the 8 civilizations of China's history and the revolutionary history, as well as the 8 civilization of China. And this is also one of the largest museums, covering 200,000 square meters, and also here we also have a whole bunch of the collections to show you the 5,000-year history of China. And starting from today, let me show you or decode the civilization of China. And also today, we talk about to understand China's story throughout the lines. So that's back to the words or characters. And to the characters, we start from the very beginning of characters. So that's oracle bone. So let's first look at these ancient oracle bone inscriptions.
王令众人协田刻瓷牛骨。3000多年前，
So this is
商朝
oracle
王室
bone
在龟
with
甲
instructions.
细刻的文字，让我们对中国早期历史
And
有了更详
as
细的了解。
the reported
王令众
unearthed
人协田刻瓷牛骨。
in China, in Henan province, these oracle bone inscriptions are characters inscribed on bones by the royal families of Shang Dynasty, and that's more than 3,000 years ago. The discovery of oracle bone inscriptions marks that China has more than 3,000 years of recorded history, and these inscriptions also provide the extremely valuable primary data for our understanding and study of the social history of the Shang Dynasty, enabling us to have a more detailed understanding of the earliest Chinese history. The founding is also the shared assets for the humanization. And right now we're looking at, this is in front of us. We can feel that the brace from 3,000 years ago. Anything so special for this piece? We found this in Anyang City, Henan province. So the oracle bone inscriptions boasted diversified contents covering state affairs such as sacrifice, punitive expenditure, calendar, and a penalty system, as well as a large number of oracles in agricultural production. So this unearthed in Anyang, Henan, the bone with inscriptions of the king ordering all the people to conduct collective farming. So in Chinese, it's the 王陵众人协田克词. So that's not only illustrates the farming methods of the Shang Dynasty, but also shows the importance of the king of Shang attached great importance to the agricultural production. That also help us to understand more about the Shang Dynasty, the history in the Shang Dynasty. So since these oracle bone inscriptions are mostly pictographs, the character collaboration was written in a way that vividly demonstrates the unique mode of agricultural production in the Shang Dynasty. So we talk about and Wang Yirong is the person once found this kind of the way of written character. So this written character that the person first found the piece of oracle bone, thinking that this could be some way of character because he could find a certain pattern of that character. We talk about royal family normally use this kind of a system to write down the content regarding that it's sacrifice, punitive ways, or the big events happened in that time. And we talk about agricultural production, of course, should be one of the top agenda on the kings of Shang. So you could see that actually from this inscription, we found that the agricultural mode as well as the importance touched by the royal family of the Shang Dynasty. We believe that this is the actual piece to let us know that just more than 3,000 years ago, we had already something written on this bone. That's the characters written down to record history, to record content. Actually, from this angle, we believe we only could know some really simple characters, but still we talk about that from a very early time period. Still not. This is with very great importance because still a lot of the characters follow the way of a pictograph. So the oracle bone inscriptions are the earliest mature writing system discovered so far in China, serving as the origin of Chinese characters and the root of fine traditional Chinese culture. The ancient Chinese writing system, upon inheritance and development from representative elements from the oracle bone inscription in Inshu, is still in use today. So we still can find some shared features of the characters. And actually we talk about the grammar of the Chinese character actually were the same. So we can tell this is quite mature writing system 3,000 years ago that already established in place. We talk about the way of the way of writing, the forms, and also the grammar of this writing system actually also it quite shares some similarities with the current writing system. And also you could see that the oracle bone inscriptions are mostly pictographs. So here we could see that the three people working together, we talk about that this bone actually also show you that the farming methods of the Shang Dynasty, that's a collective way of farming. In 2005, 2006, the origin of Inshu culture also listed the World Heritage List. I believe there's something really important because that's we talk about the a memory, the history actually first written down on the oracle bone, and then we could know what happened in the old days, in the ancient time. We talk about that's really very smart way to create these characters. We know the bone actually was so stiff, right? How people in the ancient time actually to make all these inscriptions. And we also talk about they use something special tools. In 2019, as the 120th anniversaries of founding the oracle bone, actually we found more stories behind the scene. And you could see this one, this oracle bone, this is also a bovine bone. So bovines actually is a very stiff. We talk about the earliest inscriptions actually that for the royal families, for the divination purpose. So we talk about that first, that the bone should be burnt in order to have some really good cracks. So you should polish the surface, and later on the ancient people used cinnabar to write the characters on the bone. That is why you could see that still that after all these years, after 3,000 years and more, we still can see that characters really vivid and so clear. And they use knife, but that's a brown made knife to make all these inscriptions. You could find that the characters are actually very different in terms of size, but you could see there are a lot of lines coming together in a quite even shape. The oracle bone inscriptions are characters inscribed on bones or tortoise shells by the royal families of Han Dynasty for divination or record of events more than 3,000 years ago. So we talk about this is also provide a really good base for us to understand the calligraphy, so we can learn more history behind these inscriptions, but we also from that the shape of the characters, we can also know that the development of the characters. Still, we talk about these oracle bone inscriptions, that's the inscriptions on the bovine bone. We believe that also actually can tell us the ancient people's way of aesthetics and also the development of aesthetics. So far, regarding our collection, right now we can understand all the characters, all the inscriptions on this oracle bone. But still, we talk about all the characters inscribed on the oracle bone, still more than 3,000 characters still unidentified. So which means that we still got to pour over 3,000 unidentified ancient oracle bone inscriptions. We talk about actually the discovery of characters that also shows a very important breakthroughs of the development of civilizations. So also you talk about this civilization, we talk about characters. You also could see that the lines that also can tell us that the history plus arts, that's also certain forms of arts. So we can enjoy the beauty of the Chinese characters. So we talk about this piece, the Oriental bone inscriptions are the earliest mature writing system discovered so far in China, serving as the origin of the Chinese characters and the root of a fine traditional Chinese culture. The ancient Chinese writing system upon inheritance and development from representative elements from the oracle bone inscription in Inshu is still in use today. Therefore, oracle bone inscriptions are the precious cultural heritage of the Chinese nation and even the common spiritual wells of mankind. So we talk about this one, the unearthed in Anyang, Henan province, the bovine bone with inscriptions of the kings ordering all the people to conduct collective farming. Not only illustrates the farming methods of the Han Dynasty, but also shows importance of the king of Shan attached to agricultural production. And also, I believe we received some questions. So before the live streaming, we also ask some questions to the young generations. And we believe the kids also have some questions to you, to ask the director Wang. Hello, Mr. Wang. I would like to know why we consider the oracle bone inscriptions are the earliest writing system. Is there something similar in the foreign culture? We talk about we could consider the oracle bone inscriptions are the earliest mature writing system, the root of a fine traditional Chinese culture, and then the ancient Chinese writing system also developed throughout the history. We talk about the underlying features. We talk about that the lines, the formation of the characters. We talk about the representative elements. We also talk about the pictographs, all shared among the different writing system. So that we could consider that reflects the DNA of Chinese culture and history. One-fifth of the world population writing in Chinese characters. And the oracle bone inscriptions served as the origin of Chinese characters. We believe that also the oracle bone inscriptions also lay solid foundation in understanding people's way of living, way of working, and way of thinking. And according to my knowledge, we also know that a lot of our foreign friends are also actually very keen to know the oracle bone inscriptions and also they study the oracle bone inscriptions. So let's move on to our next treasure. And we will use 8K camera to show our viewers the very detailed, subtle patterns. So here you're looking at, this is called ding. Normally we consider this as the ritual food container. It's a very giant shape. And also here to show you a lot of stories just from this ding. So this is called Yu, bronze ding. The Yu bronze ding is one of the bronze in the collection of the National Museum of China and the largest bronze ware of the Western Zhou Dynasty ever found. And also you could see this, the inscriptions also on the surface of the ding, and also in very beautiful lines. And not only have the outer inscriptions, they also include the inner inscriptions. So here you can see this once again called the 大鱼鼎 in Chinese, or the Yu bronze ding, a ritual food container. You could see that with the 3 foot, and also we could see that the patterns are so different. From the look, let's understand why this is really beautiful bronze ware. If we talk about the time period, this is the largest bronze ding we found. So this it reported unearthed bronze ding found between, that's actually produced between 1821 and 1851. The Yu bronze ding is one of the bronze in the collection of the National Museum of China, and also the largest bronze ware of the Western Zhou Dynasty ever found. The Ke bronze ding, the Mogong bronze ding, and this bronze ding are collectively known as the 3 treasures of China from the late Qin Dynasty, which bears testimony to its great prestige and value. So this bronze ding is 101.9 centimeter high with a diameter of 77.8 centimeter at the mouth and a weight of 153.5 kilogram. It has a pair of upright and slightly flared handles, a wide flat edge with a protruding rim and an inward folding mouth. Its wide and drooping belly has a slanting extended wall with a small curvature at the outer bottom near these 3 legs. So also our correspondent just next to this bronze ding. So the inner inscription that comprised 291 characters in 19 lines. So this is a very special hall to show you from the different sectors of the history development, and right now here in the Western Zhou Dynasty. So we could see that there are so many ding, that's the bronze ding, displayed here. We're looking at it. these different giant pieces displayed here. And also, you know what? We have actually the ice cream in this shape of yu bronze ding. And we talk about that the pineapple taste show you actually the very beginning, that's the first making of this bronze ding that was in the color gold, and then later on as the color developed in this greenish color, so we have the mellow taste as well to hook up to equal the color of green. So that's very in a creative way, actually just based on the shape and the color of this yu bronze ding, and we actually translate that into the taste and the shape of ice cream. Once again, let's use our 8K technology to show our viewers the subtle details of the inscription. Let's see whether you can really find something similar or some characters you know. The inscription bronze ding also show us the key events happened. We talk about because you know that the material of bronze is really stiff. So that's also showed the role of recording key events in the history. Right now, more than 17,000 pieces of a bronze ding with the inner inscription. So for this piece, the inner inscription comprised 291 characters in 90 lines. So you could understand more the stories happened in the Western Zhou Dynasty. So according to the inscription, King Khan of the Western Zhou Dynasty conferred a title on Yu in the 9th month of the 23rd year of his reign. The king related to Yu, the experience of kings Wen and Wu in governing, and the lesson from officials of the previous dynasty of Shang. So we talk about the big lesson learned from the previous dynasty of Shang is the Shang people died because of wine. The king of Western Zhou Dynasty then appointed Yu to a position and instructed him to follow in his ancestors' footsteps and serve the royal family. And the king also awarded him sacrificial wine, clothing, carriages, and horses, servants, slaves, and men under his command. Yu thus made this treasured ding in honor of his grandfather, the Duke of Nan. So just in these inscriptions, we could learn that a lot of stories happened in the Western Zhou Dynasty. So this you could consider that the inscriptions just like a historical book. So from these inscriptions, and we could know that the governance system already in shape in the Western Zhou Dynasty. So it helped us to understand that the king appointed a person, also awarded that person with a lot of different things. So that's tell us the whole governing system, the form of the right of king. So we could see that we consider this as called in Chinese 金文. So that's the inscriptions on ancient bronze objects.
比较太平。那么西周推崇的礼乐制度呢，也成为社会的一个普遍的规范，大家都在遵守。那么由此也化育出一种崇尚理性和统一的这种文化精神。那在青铜器这个铭文的规整的格局上，也有充分的。
So you're looking at this is in a very 19 lines, very neat way. We also talk about that back then that people in the Western Zhou Dynasty always think in a very logical way, and they also behave in a rational way. To make a bronze ding, you need to first have that shape in a china clay, and then put that mold of clay under strong fire. So that burned in the furnace. We talk about the making bronze ding actually covered a very complicated process. You need to make the outer shape as well as the inner shape. And then once again, you put the both outer parts and the inner parts into the furnace in order to have a very solid and strong walls of the bronze ding. So put it simple, needed 4 ways to create a bronze ding. And also in a Western Zhou Dynasty, also the peak period to develop bronze ding. So you could actually see the different size of a bronze ding. The largest size of a bronze ware that's not only include this kind of ritual food container, also that the musical instruments also you could find in the bronze materials. The inscriptions. And first you carved the inscription, the characters, on the soft material. Normally that's a soft clay. And then you put that into a layer of the inner inscription, and then you put the whole bronze ware into the furnace. So you're looking at this is really neat in 19 lines. Normally, actually, they have not a square to make sure that we talk about the Chinese characters. People always think that in a square shape. We talk about that. Also, we could see that normally on the mode of making that in their inscription, they also actually put a dotted line in a square shape. So you could see that these 291 characters in 19 lines is so well arranged, because that they already have that template in a small square shape. So we talk about that. This Yu bronze ding was given by Zhou Tang to collector Pan Zuyin.
赠给这个潘祖荫，金石收藏家潘祖荫。那么潘家其实不光收藏了大玉鼎，还有大克鼎。那我们刚才说晚清都是韩历。
We talk about 大克鼎 or Da Brown Ding and Ke Brown Ding, all collected by Pan Zuyin.
大玉鼎和大克鼎都埋到地下，然后就收藏起来。然后日本人这个日
And the Pan family buried
这个大玉鼎、大克鼎。
two bronze ding
他没有找到。那么51年新中国成立以后呢，
during the war period. And in 1951, the Yu Brown Ding and the Ke Brown Ding were donated to the state by Pan Dayu,
入藏上海博物馆。
a descendant of the Pan family.
新中国国
And in 1959, it's the time to celebrate the 10th anniversary of establishing New China. And from Shanghai Museum, this Yu Brown Ding traveled from Shanghai to Beijing and stationed in the National Museum.
6月份，那么上海博物馆专门举办了一个展览，就是鼎
In June 2021,
受赠
the Museum of Shanghai
特展，
also had a very special
专
event.
门南下上海，跟大克鼎、双鼎同时呈现给上海人民。那么同年的9
And
月，
together with Ke Brown Ding, displayed in the Museum of Shanghai, also to show the respect to the Pan family.
除了这个大玉鼎，当时大克鼎也从上海到北京来，然后我们刚才这个
Once again, the Ke Brown Ding, Maogong Brown Ding, and these Brown Ding are collectively known as the three treasures of China from the late Qin Dynasty.
共同动气，应该说在近代出土啊，
And to show the
的这么一个命运，见证了中华民族
prosperity of the early time.
而通过您的讲述，我们也感受到了有多少代的人，他们就是这样用自己的心血、生命。
We talk about the protection of the assets of history.
我们今天在看哈，刚才这个大
Rely on the efforts made by generations after generations.
这个词儿，我也在想这样的基因
We talk about the DNA or gene
一定也有好多的问题。我们来看看吧，我们的小
of
朋友们
these
对大玉
pieces.
鼎这件器物有什么样的问题？来
Let us know more about the history, civilization.
叫木西比。
I also have one question.
我很喜欢书法，对甲骨和金文也很感兴
So
趣。
I like the
有个问题，
calligraphy and also really interested in the inscription.
上了吗？
哇，10岁的小朋友就研究金文了。
So my question is that
因为
that's the inscriptions and these bronze objects
一小部分。那么铸造青铜器呢，它是因为它是开采铜矿，它要冶炼，还要铸造，要耗费大量的
or
人力
the
物力。如果不是王室贵族，
the characters of Han Dynasty and Zhou Dynasty all recorded on oracle bones or
大
the
家都认为更
or bronze
聪明的
aware.
方式，或者说更公平的
We talk about royal family
还是用毛笔在竹简
recorded key events on oracle bone or a bronzeware. For the
那么只是由于
normal household,
木头呢，相比
they still recorded things on
所以我们现在发
or
现
written
竹简应该
wrote down things
占古时期，所以
on
这个应该说没有更早的古典。
bamboo
至于书写工具呢，这
or
个
by
讲
calligraphy.
然后根据这个陶瓷遗址和这个石卯遗址里面发现的符号和这个图像，我们可以合理的推测，大概在距今4000年前，中国已经出现了毛笔。
4,000 years
所以在上古
ago,
时期，除了
we
这个
based on the collections we got, we could it's fair to say
也是重要的
that
一个文字的载体。
bamboo and wooden objects
这个
are the key
非版的，就是我们在4000
media
就已经有毛笔这个工具了。
to write on, and also more than 4,000 years ago, we also found that the characters written by
责任，
the calligraphy.
会在未来的某一天来见证，真的有一个考古发现 是告诉我们
by the calligraphy brush pen.
所以，既然您已经说到竹简了，咱们不妨再从甲骨文、金文往下走一走，好不好？我们带大家进入下一件器物。这件文物
So let's also move on to the next treasure.
竹简的一个非常特殊的代表作之一，应该说这个竹
That's
简
the Chronicles bamboo slips.
一起来了解文物档案。
千年前的历历墨书，千年后成了重要的考古资料，见证了中华民族走向大一统国家的重要
So
历
for
史。
this piece of Chronicles bamboo slips show us the history happened
编年记竹
in
简出土于湖
Qin
北省
Dynasty.
云梦睡虎地11号起墓，
This piece
记
unearthed
载了秦昭王
in
元
Yuanmeng
年至
County,
秦始皇30
Hubei
年
Province
秦统一
in
中国的历次战争大事。
1975.
其
The
所
bamboo
记史
slips
绝大部
are
分
the
可以与
funerary
史记
objects
相互对照
unearthed
可
in
和史
the
书记载
number
不缺。
11 tombs of the
竹
Qin
简还记
Dynasty.
录了很多小人物的故事，比如墓主人喜的生平。
So looking
从微观
at
历史的
these
角度
pieces of
呈现了在波澜
bamboo,
壮阔的时
not
代
only
他们的经历，
recorded the
为后
key
人了
events
解中国
happened
时代
before,
具体的
also
历史
recorded
提
the
供了
stories
重要视
of
角。
the big Zhou.
咱们中国国家博物馆保存的这个编年记当中的竹简，到底保
So
存
we're
的是
looking
哪
at
样
this
的
is
历史
bamboo slips.
是这样，编年记这个竹简呢，应该说具有非常重要的史料价值和文物价值。那么竹简呢，逐年记述了秦昭王元年到
So
秦始皇3
the
年统一6国
Chronicles bamboo slips
这套竹简呢，可以帮助
were written in Qin clerical script in ink. It mainly records the wars and other events related to Qin's unification of China from the first year of King Zhou of Qin state, 306 BCE, to the 30th year of Qin Shi Huang, the first empire of Qin Dynasty, that's the 217 BCE.
那么编年记竹简总共是53枚，简文总共是550个字，分上下两栏来书写。因为这个
The
文物
Chronicles bamboo slips have 53 pieces on which 550 characters
这个
were written
书写
down.
秦始皇在位的时期。那么简文记载了大量的战争的内容，包括比较重要的，比如说这个伊雪之战，这是秦国对韩国的一个战争。
So the Chronicles further records personal experience.
这个还有这个长平
So
之战
not only record wars,
这个赵
but
国之战
also records
还有这个郢之战，这是
the ordinary people's stories.
战争的一些逐年都会记载下哪年哪年打了仗，谁谁怎么打仗，大概这么个内容。那么编年记还记载了这个墓主人一个秦朝的一个基层的一个小官员，叫这个喜，他的一些生平。那么为研究
Among
现在
them,
基层的管理和管理制度呢，提供了非常
Xi
珍贵的
was the most detailed.
这个墓主人
Upon identification, the bones belonged to a male of 40 to 45 years old, and a large number of
会是要在这个阶层
decree recorded slips were buried in the coffin. Therefore, the tomb occupant is referred as Xi in the Chronicles.
那么11号秦墓呢，它
So
11号
these found in the number 11 tomb of the Qin Dynasty
然
and
后竹简呢出土在墓主人。
totaling more than 1,100 pieces.
编年记呢是在11号墓
They are stacked orderly in 8 groups when found. The Chronicles bamboo slip were found at the head of the tomb occupant.
也包括法律档案
And based on the characters recorded on this chronicle
还有一些违例
bamboo slips, we know the name of this tomb
主人这个
occupant is inferred as Xi.
年龄大概在40到45岁。
So his age
那么
believed
墓里面有
is
随葬
a
大
male of 40 to 45 years
不一
old.
定这个墓主人可能就是编年记里面讲的那个
And also from this tomb
基层官员。这个
founding
出生在
also found that this person
前 在秦始皇时期呢，当过这个安
is a local official.
这种小官儿，也当过这个，也从过军，大概是当过兵。
做我跟法律相关的，
对
还有那么多法律的书呢。
So a lot of the books were the characters related to the legislation events.
70多件儿，那么还有六博这个棋，这么一套，
下棋的
就是游戏，
棋啊
对，这是一套游戏的一些东西，那么反映他的一些文娱爱好，对，业余爱好，大概是这么一个情况。那么出土编年记的
So from the same number 11 tomb, we also found some pieces of the copperware, bronzeware, and also the
编年记竹简，
Chinese
我
goals.
们到现在为止能够见到的，为什么
It also reflects the personal experience of the tomb
应该说
occupant.
不是特别多的
是的，
啊？为研究这个编年史
So half of the Chronicles bamboo slips of the Qin Dynasty are dated after the tomb
编写编写
occupant
包括
was
相关
born,
史的考定啊，应该说非常重要的这个参考。
and in particular, those recording deeds of the first emperor should be witnessed by
特别强调小人物的故
Xi
事
himself,
看书爱
which
写
are
作爱
thus
读写
reliable
下棋
historical records and of great historical value, especially conducive to solving the
在刚才那个
chronological problem in historical research.
咱中国的古代字儿，您刚才不是介绍了吗？什么大篆呀、小篆呀。
And most of the historical facts recorded in the Chronicles can be made cross-reference to the historical records, which may fill some relevant missing information in the history books, especially enrich our knowledge of the
有非常明显的一种
geography
过渡的性质。那么
and regimes of the Warring States period and the Qin Dynasty.
保留的篆书这个纵长的这么一个特点。那么有些字形呢，
And also judging by
这么一个
the shape of the characters, we could see that
大体上是这么一个背景。就秦始皇灭六国之后呢，应该说以秦国的
this is different from the character first we found in the oracle bones and also the Li calligraph.
都是对春秋战国时期秦国流行的文字，就大篆进行整理简，
And this is the
就是说秦隶
prevailing
都是
writing system in Qin Dynasty.
官方的书体。
We talk about that Qin Shi Huang as the first emperor, and he also the one unified the writing system.
所以这个隶书呢，就正式取代了这个小篆，成为人们使用的主要的这个字体。
And Li calligraphy became the main writing system from Qin Dynasty
形成和发展。那么大家知道
to Han Dynasty.
是个纵向的，那么应该说它是个纵
We
向的。
talk about fiber of bamboo actually in the vertical direction. If you use the calligraphy
它那个比较明显。那么写书法的时
a
候呢，
brush pen,
顺着纤维往下来写，所以有光滑，有时候有失控那种感觉。所以在当时没有高桌或者椅子这么一种背景之下呢，那么书写者一般的是，一手拿着笔，一手拿着剪来进行书写，什么从上往下来书写。那么这就使得这个书写的过程里面，自觉不自觉
writing from the top to the bottom.
一样，这个力度会加重。那么久而久之呢，就形成一种扁方的这么一种隶书的这么一种形态。
哦，真是哈，这历史的细节真是有的时候得再仔细看一看，就连那书写的姿态。
Actually, the shape of the characters, why it's changing, become more like much longer
更细一点。
in the vertical direction because that's the bamboo material that's very slippery. So use the bamboo brush pen, right? It's
这个问题
automatically
就是在这个制作这个竹简的时候，
written in the longer shape.
裁成是竹筒，不一节一节的嘛，裁成竹筒，然后再把竹筒再破成一根儿根儿狭长的这种竹简，然后对这种竹简进行这种刮切
So you cut the bamboo and make them into bamboo tube and then make them into the bamboo
然后
slips.
呢再把这个
And also you need to polish
把它烤干的水分，
the surface and then
大概是这么一个特点。
to burn them in the furnace, make
所以它一
the water
以后呢，就会把那个水分就会
burned out from the inside of the bamboo.
面上，就跟汗珠一 所以古代这个
So that the way of making the
就是取的这个意思。这个意思
water coming out of the bamboo, also like the people sweat.
对吧？
是的，
啊，编年记呢，我们也发现有一个空白的茧。
So it is also called sweating bamboo sleep.
先是把这个竹简一块给它编连好以后再书写。那么在每根竹简上面
So we first to make
形的切口。那么
a rope to connect all these bamboo
把
pieces.
它编起来用编绳。这个编绳呢分这个上中下3道，把它编起来变成一根竹简的编连成册。一般来讲的话，编这个竹简使用的都是麻绳或者丝绳。编年记发现的时候，这个编绳已经是朽烂了，不存在了。那么从历史上来讲，就是3到4世纪的时候，是中国书写材料从这个简牍应该说向纸转变的这么一个关键时期。那么在这个时期里面，随着时间的推移呢，我们能够发现，就是用在
So we first found that a cord, that's the hemp cord or hemp rope.
淄博呀，用
And when we found this Chronicle bamboo sleep, that road
那么到
already
之后呢，
erode.
在官方就得到了普及，所以中国历史从简牍时代就进入了以纸为主的一个书写材料的一个时代。
And we also talk about
破万卷
just
上古有神的时代了，是吧？
after the time period, and people also started to write from the bamboo to paper.
就从甲骨文
And we also enter into the time area of paper.
来，在我们今天的
So
舞台
talking
上
about
有一个
paper,
特别要跟大家，我觉得您站，您看您在这边舒服哈，对，特别要讲述的故事。因为我一开始看到这个纸册，我特别惊讶，虽然它已经残破了，但我一看到就这是纸。
so we believe this something quite surprise people, and we also quite know that it's paper. You can just very easily tell it's a piece of paper, although it's broken in several pieces. And we call this 金官 paper.
金色的金，官这个海关的关，金官纸。那么这个应该说是西汉时期的一个重要的纸张的一个遗存。那么这些残纸呢，应该说色泽
So the remnant paper unearthed at Jingguan,
能看到有点残破
Gansu province
痕迹。
in 1973 is the important paper remains of the Western Han Dynasty.
73年的时候，1973年的时候，甘肃省博物馆的文物队在金关遗址进行了科学的考古发掘，共出土的各种文物是1300多件。那么出土的汉的这个木简是11000多枚，就是竹简。那么也包括2件这个残纸。
So at the same time that
国家
the
博物
A
馆
team
说
and
这件金官纸呢，
the
这个残纸呢，应该说像粗草纸。
the team found that more than 1,100 pieces of bamboo, and also found
比较细。
these
那么
paper,
呢，属于
two large pieces of paper.
也就是说，公元前的6年到公元前3年这么一个时间断代。那么这些残纸，另外一件残纸应该藏在甘肃省博物馆，所以我们总共出土了2件，国家博物馆1件，甘肃博物馆1件，2件大概是这么一个情况。
So that 2 pieces, 1 piece was escorted to the National Museum of China, and the other one is kept at the Gansu Museum.
就能证明，其实
So we talk about the
非常普及了，能证明
inventor of paper
我们到现在为止已经
is Cai Lun.
西汉的
Judging from archaeological materials such as
新疆若布诺尔
Jingguan paper, it could be concluded that paper was invented no later than the Western Han Dynasty.
那么也有这个57年在陕西这个灞桥发现的灞桥纸，那是公元前的118年的。那么还有78年陕西富丰，那么发现的这个中岩纸。那么还有79年在甘肃敦煌这个马圈湾发现的这个马圈湾，这个也是残纸。那么还有这个86
The
年
National Museum of China houses quite a number of early paper artifacts, such as Jingguan paper, Zhongyan paper, and Majuanwan remnant paper, which are rare paper remains of the Western Han Dynasty and important experimental specimens for the study of paper in the Han Dynasty.
都是一样的啊，所以所有流程都
And we're looking at the paper making technology.
0.2到0.25这个毫米，白度呢是达到40%。
15 centimeters long and 8.6 centimeters wide, this piece of remnant paper is dual yellow, irregular, and wrinkled. It contains hemp, thread residuals, and broken linen with somewhat sparse texture.
所以证明它的价值。开个玩笑。对。
那么《后汉书·蔡伦传》里面，它明确的记载。
So after scientific research and analysis, the Jingguan paper was finally made after a series of process flow, including cutting, boiling, pounding, and shaping. It is generally believed that the Jingguan paper is the paper for writing in the Western Han Dynasty. So we talk about it could be concluded that the paper was invented no later than the Western Han Dynasty, and Cai Lun maybe was the one that modified the paper making technology. So we talk about the paper making technology is a treasure of Chinese civilization and a milestone in the world civilization. The collection of cultural relics such as Jingguan paper is the physical evidence of a paper making. So here we talk about we houses quite a number of early paper artifacts, such as Jingguan paper, Zhongyuan paper, and Majunwan remnant papers, which are rare paper remains of the Western Han Dynasty. And we talk about Baqiao paper. Also help us to know that the history of paper making. All these findings of a paper that help us to moving forward the time of paper making, so that paper making technology could be sometime earlier than the time we know today.
对对对，是我们国家国内最早的是带有墨字文字的这个纸张。那么为我们研究这个纸张。
And here looking at unearthed at Gansu, this is called the Hantanpo paper of the Eastern Han Dynasty, is earliest paper with ink writing existing in China. So we now, based on the archaeological work that help us to bring the paper making technology or the invention of paper to even early days. So that also show us the development of a paper making technology. We talk about all these papers from Han Dynasty, Western Han Dynasty, could consider us the ancestor of paper making. And that's also the great contribution made by China to the world in terms of invention of paper. Before paper found, we already found the writing media, including shells, oracle bones, bronzeware, bamboo.
也不是欧洲的这种羊皮纸。
So the papermaking technology is a treasure of Chinese civilization and a milestone in the world civilization.
悬浮液，那么
So you could see this is
这个纸张的薄片儿，那么是
a
纤维材料
very
经过
thin
切断
layer of paper.
制浆，然后呢打浆，然后用这个悬浮在某种液体之中，
So that's
然后
the
呢
a
最
fiber
后用这个网圆儿
piece.
把它给过滤成型，制造出来
So
的
it was made
植物纤维
after a series of process flow, including cutting, boiling, pounding, and shaping.
主要是工艺上比较先进。那么
We
根据
talk
实验
about
中
that's the a
这个
technique
金冠纸
of this paper making is quite advanced.
然后呢，用这个绳头，用这线头，那么混入少量的丝质的材料来制成的。由于它经历了这个初步的春捣，就是要把它捣成浆，那么一定程度的切断，就把它的纤维要切断。
So we talk about it contains hemp,
本身来讲，
thread residues, and broken
或者
linen
是我们叫
with somewhat
大概是这么一个
sparse
最早
texture.
的纸，
对最早的纸。那么
So we could consider this is the earliest paper.
那个字纸那个叫汉坦坡字纸。那么它虽然也是用这个麻类的
Han paper of the Eastern Han Dynasty also took the
应该说是
linen as the
较薄的
raw
单
material.
面这个加工的逐步加工的一种纸。那么它使用了胶料，那么很可能使用了悬浮剂所以工艺上、技术上
这
都
就是它那个
比较发达。
技术哈，技
对
术的黑科技，
对，
悬浮剂。
这代表了西汉
We believe that
和蔡澜纸
during the a process of paper making, it could also involve the usage of suspending agent.
它是用什么工艺制成的？
So if we talk about the paper making technology, the raw material of
实验
paper,
结果来看呢，我们可以还原出西安
based on our study,
研究
that we could
发展的一个历程。
really bring the original look and feel of the a paper making in
更加有
the
物证这是
ancient time
更有话语
更有
权。
话语
and also provide the solid
即使在今天我们研究
evidence for us to understand
也可以证明说我们中国古代
the invention of paper, the development of
跟我们对
a paper making
非
technology.
常重要的贡献。但是我们说你的贡献到底在哪？我们以前说蔡人造纸是重要贡献，那今天我们说，那我们在这蔡人
So before we talk about the four great invention and Cai Lun
我们已经有这样成
paper making considered as one of the invention, and right now we could see that before Cai Lun we already have this kind of a paper.
到了这个唐代以后，
We believe coming to the Cai Lun's period, that's the time to prevail and promote
刷呀、雕版印刷呀，
the usage of paper.
改变了文化传播的一些基本的模式和方式。那么西汉
And
人发现
that also
中国是
changed the way of civilization development.
应该是最好的一个国家我们是这个，所以我们讲说是增强历史自信，增强文化自信，增强这种民族自豪感。那么通过这种实物就可以给我们提供
So this is a solid evidence to let us know that
在文化的
in the very ancient time, China already invented
我们用
paper.
来传播，同时我们也用造纸术也进
So
行了
the
文化的传播。
invention of paper also have
根本性的变化。
tremendously
而世界的文明在
changed
不
the
断的发
way
酵过程当中
civilization
不断地思考
developed,
不断的行进，都由这一条
exchanged
长河
and
慢慢的
conveyed.
绵延不绝的组成啊。
对，
其实我们在今天的节目的直播当中一直在说我们要增加互动哈，让大家有什么问题都来提。对于这个纸张的历史，真的会有很多的小朋友很感兴趣，
Talking
因
about
为他们
the
从
history
小
of
学
this
写字儿，是
paper,
不
a
是就
lot
在
of
纸
kids
上？
show
对，
the
所以他们对
pure
纸最熟悉了。
嗯
我们来看看
the
我们的小朋友
interest
提出了什么样的问
because
题，好吗
that's？
来，
something they actually write their homework
馆
on.
长、主持人，你们好，我叫黄彩琴，是1年级的小学生。
Hello
我
to
特
the
别喜欢
director.
中国
I have
的
a
历史，
A question.
经常去
I'm
博物
really
馆看
interested
展
in
览。今
the
天我的问
Chinese
题是，
history and
在主
also
讲上写
the
字
old
和在
friends
纸
to
上
the
写字
museums.
一样吗？
So we
谢
talk
谢。
about
6岁的小
writing
朋友好
on
可爱
这个
啊
问题
bamboo
是很有
sleep
意思的。
or writing
那么我
on
们中国
paper
一直讲
feel the
文
same?
房四宝，笔墨纸砚，对吧？那么排在第一的应该说就是笔。那么虽然秦朝的时候 当时还没有纸，我们讲西汉的时候有纸，秦朝时还没有纸，但是毛笔、墨块和砚台。
So in Chinese, we also talk about the scholars for jewels as the writing brush, ink stick, ink lamp, and paper. That's the four precious articles of the writing table. So we talk about writing on bamboo. If you write something wrong, you have that's kind of the whiteout. So that's the small knife. So you just carve the wrong character out and then you write again.
一般人有这种情况，站着写的比较少见，都是坐着来写。早期人们用纸张来书写的时候，也是采用这个跟那个简读书写的方式差不多，也是用那种方式。So
the early way of writing on the paper is same as writing on the bamboo sleeve.
那五代以后，因为有了桌子、椅子，什么高桌低椅啊，这种普及，所以古人书写的方式呢，就跟现在就比较相似了。大概是这么。
对于小朋友们来说，现在他们书写都得保持
the
眼睛跟
invention
桌
of
面的距离
tables and
和
chairs,
书的距离，
the
保持一个
ancient
很好的
people
姿态，让
started
眼睛能
to
更明
writing
亮。但
things
今天看我们的直播，可以让你的
while
心更
sitting.
明亮，可以照到我们的古代历史当中找到我们的文化自信哈。所以接下来我们已经从造纸术来说中国的4大发明了，跟纸相关的还有呢印刷术。所以接下来我们要给大家介绍的这款文物是中国现存最早的木活字印本，
printing.
特别珍贵，我特别想去看一看，赶快看看文物档案。
We talk about the earliest, the wooden typing or the wooden movable typing technique.
西夏文吉祥变质口和本序。人类文明的发展和进步，中国古代4大发明中的造纸术和印刷术功不可没。而从雕版印刷到活字印刷，那速度提升的可不是一点半点。西夏王朝是与北宋、南宋共存的西北少数民族政权。西夏文佛经吉祥变质口和本序，作为中国现存最早的木活字印本，可见当时中原的活字印刷技术出现后不久，就迅速流传开来，并广泛应用。本序虽然正文为西夏文，但却有汉文、西夏文、汉夏合文3种页码。他的发现对考古学、西夏学、佛学、藏学、文化史等都具有重要的研究价值。
So this bamboo sutra
真是啊，全篇都是历史，就是一个字儿都不认识。我仔细辨别了半天，确实不认识。这个吉祥变质
is the world's earliest extant wooden movable type printing copy discovered so far. And we know that the
太远了。那我就说这个印刷吧。哎，咱们怎么能判断说它真的是木活字
printing? So why we know that exactly the wooden movable type printing? So we talk about the typical of wooden movable type printing. It is a distinct witness of the use and spread of Chinese movable type printing. After its discovery, the use of wooden movable type printing in China can be traced back to the southern Song Dynasty, more than 100 years earlier than the previous Yuan Dynasty, which is of great value to the study of ancient Chinese printing history and movable type printing. In August 1991, archaeologists discovered a large number of ink scripts in Chinese and Tangut script, including this Tantra, in the ruins of a 13-story solid square pagoda with stands.
它没有那个拦这个线的，它没有不连在一块儿，没有连贯，然后都缺个线，没有线，角上那个线没有连在一起，你们可以看到。
certain square pagoda with dance eaves
深浅的都不均匀，但是有的地方深，有的地方浅。
in
那么
Ningxia.
墨色呢，黑白斑驳，就是它不一致，这个墨色不一致。然后同一面同一个字
So
的
this
笔锋呢
well-printed
和形态呢
tantra
它又不一
features
样
smooth
啊，它
font,
这个比较特殊一点，偶尔还会见到
strokes, and
错牌
neat edges,
错牌
free
右
from
牌
few broken
倒
or
牌
missing
等等这
strokes.
种错误一般的都不会出
Lines
现的。
uneven in lengths between some rows of characters are the interlacing traits unique to the wooden movable type
能够体现
printing.
出来。而且更加大家比较感到激动的是，这个在这个字行间有一些长短不一的一些线条啊，你能够看出来。这些线条说明呢，这是木活字印刷特有的隔行加一个
So
条
that
这么一个
lines
痕迹
uneven in lengths between some rows of characters, just a unique
一个印本。
character
找到线索和
to
证据
the
了，
wooden
对
movable
对
type
对
printing.
学术上有充分的证据证明它是木活字的。
So
那么
actually we have
这个
sufficient
本
evidence
序呢，应该说在
to
西夏
support
王朝的
us
属地出
our
现
study
都在
and
绘图上
research that
说明呢，
it firmly
木活字
believe
这个印刷
that
术啊
it
在这个
actually
最晚
from
是在
the
南宋时期
wooden
已经
movable
传到
type
河西
printing.
走廊地区了。那么弥补了，就是说我们从中原到中亚地区，那么这个印刷术传播
Located in the Hexi corridor, the Western Xia dynasty was an important bridge in the westward spread of Chinese movable type
本序
printing.
的出现，将我国木活字印刷这个年代从元代提现到了南宋，至少应该说时间上提现了100多年。
And the
那么这是一
founding
个从
of
端
this
上来讲
piece
对研
also
究
help
中国古
us
代的印刷史和活字印刷这个术的这个发明啊，具有非常重要的价值。
哦，这等于又把
not
印刷术
know
往前
the
推
use of wooden movable type printing in China can be traced back to the Southern Song dynasty more than 100 years earlier than the previous Yuan dynasty, which is of great value to the study of ancient Chinese printing history and movable
大概
type
是这么一
printing.
个过程。印刷术呢，因为是中国的，也是4大发明之一嘛，
是的
对吧？
嗯
是中国这个应该说悠久灿烂的历史文化里面非常重要的一个组成部分，啊，对人类的政治、经济、文化的发展产生了重大的影响。那么也是我们中华民族对这个世界文化发展的一个做出的重大的贡献。那么大家都知道，随着造纸术的越来越成熟呢，到唐代的时候，应该出现了雕版印
With the
刷。
immature
那雕版
development
印刷
of
呢
a
基
paper
本就是把
printing,
这个要印的这个文字啊，先写在
the
薄纸上，
printing
然后把这
techniques
薄纸呢
also
反
developed
贴在这个木板
faster.
上，反贴在木板上，根据每个字的这个笔画呢，雕刻成板，说是雕刻成的木板，那么再进行印刷。
So you
那么
could
这样
see
的话
that first
有一
they
个好处呢
carved
应该说
the
文字的传播方
Chinese
式
characters
从这个手
on
工的抄写
these
变成了机
wooden
械的
mold,
这个复制。
嗯，
那么这个因为雕版印刷
数量
其实
so
是
that
很
instead of
数量
writing
呢会
everything
增大
by
这个
hand,
效率也会提高。
right
那么
now
传播
it
速度也
started
很
through
快。
printing
文字
by
这个
these different
复制的一种
mode,
新的一
so
种方
that
式。
also
但是
the
雕版印
way
刷经历过
of
一段时间的发展以后，
duplicate
那
the
大家就发
same
现它
words
的
or
缺点
the
就是比较明显。
also
比
help
如
us
说
to
每印一
increase
页书
the
你就是
efficiency.
雕一块板
这成本好
啊，
高啊！
对对对啊，雕一部大书的花这个时
of
间啊，
spreading
精力都非常的
the
多，
a
人力
civilization.
物力、时间，应该说都这个是很高的成本。为了减轻这个繁重的这个雕版的工作呢，应该说是提高这个印刷的效率，人们不断的改进这个雕版的这个技术。那么北宋的庆历年间，大概也就是公元的这个1042年到1048年，这个时间，我们知道毕升那个发明了泥活字的印刷术。但是我们知道你
In the
毕升发明
North and
发明
Song
这个活字印刷，但是其实它是
dynasty
泥活字啊，就是先用
between
胶泥呢制成的字
960
模，然后
and
呢，后来再通过这个高温的
1127
这个烧制，把这字模把它变成那种更加增加它的坚硬度，对吧？然后再
the
排版来
a
印刷。
paper
那
mold or
在
this
这个基础
wooden
上，应该说后边的人真是
character
泥活
mold
字印刷。
also
那么在这个地
started
方后来人
made
陆续发明出
not
来
in
木活字
wooden
印刷
materials
铜活字印
as
刷
in
锡活字印刷等等。那么
the a
整个
different
这个应该
materials
说有一个比较长的一个发
in
展。
order to
一般
improve
来
the
讲，完整的活字
efficiency
印
of
刷包
printing
括这么几个环节。那么
and also
包括要
saving
你
the cost.
制作这个活字，你要分类的储存，你要把这个字剪出来，你要排版， 你要试墨，就在上面涂上墨去。
So first you need to have the old characters in place, and then also need to arrange different characters in a meaningful way.
印刷术的发明呢，应该说对现代印刷术的发展产生了重要的这个影响。那么是中国古代印刷史上的一个伟大的发明。那么从此呢，书籍不再是少数人能够看的，能够。
We talk about a book after the invention of the movable type printing. Not only could be affordable by the rich families, the
把木活字印刷这种方法。
normal person also afford to buy a book. So that should give the credit to the movable type printing.
就先在雕版上把这刻出整版这个字形，然后再用这个小细锯啊，把这个锯条啊，把这个每个字块啊都把它锯下来，然后这个修整成大小高低都一样的。
So first you have a large piece of wood and you start to carve moody characters on this piece of wood, and then you cut the wood and make sure each piece of a small wooden mold with characters on in the same size, same shape.
这是它的一个发明，应该说提高了这个排字工作的效率。对。那么应该说排版的时候，每减一行字，就是把这行字把它剪出来以后排上以后，在这个行这个边这个行字边上加上一个主片，就是把这个字就固定下来，把这行的字就统一下来固定下来。那么成为这个印刷的时候成为界格的一个行线，所以这是它的一个特点。说本序这个字行间有断断续续的印痕，就是加那个板的。那时候留下来的一个，因为它夹片那个处理不当，留下来的一些痕迹，所以也是我们判断这个本序到底是不是。
So that is why we talk about lines, and even in lines, between some rows of characters are the interlacing trees unique to the wooden movable type printing. So we talk about books. Since then, become something normal in every household. So that also introduced a civilization to each family.
一起来看小朋友的提问。
馆长您好，我是一名即将毕业的小学生。
Hello to the director.
研究机器人，特别喜欢中国古代的科学技术。刚才听了您的讲解，
I'm very interested in robotics. I'm also interested in the ancient China movable type printing.
这个问题很好。
My question is that
因为这个
what role played by the wooden movable type printing to a world civilization exchange? We talk about this is the kind of the innovative way
从雕版印刷到活字印刷，再到这个泥活字印刷，再到木活字印刷，
making the characters moving faster.
充分体现了中国古代科技发展。
So from the wooden material to the bronze movable type printing.
复杂的这么一个过程，这个不容易。任何的这种
This is an arduous journey. We talk about as the way of making breakthroughs in the movable type printing. It's not
那么在实践
an
探索
easy
中，
task.
那么创造
There's
新技
also
术
showcase that the ancient people really tried
或者是一种品格，对吧？在这个宋元
their
时期呢，因为
efforts
很多的外
in
国人到
making
中国来
something
所以
new,
从海
something
上丝路
creative.
之路啊，路上丝路之路到中国来，把我们的文化、把我们的技术带回到他们的本国。所以我们的这个活字印刷技术
And
也是
also
顺着这条路
thanks
传到
to
国外去。那正是因为受到中国这
the
个活字印刷的启发，西方的金属后来发明了金属的活字印刷。那么是在15世纪，
Maritime
应该说比我
Silk
们
Road.
要晚了很多，对对。那么跟这个，因为他们是西方文字，欧洲的文字，它就是字母文字嘛，字母文字相对跟汉字需要准备大量的这种木活字它
In
不一
the
样。
15th
那么它的
century,
字母文字
a
是用
Western
字母
world
英文
also
字母组成的，所以它更
invented
适合这
a
种
metal
活字印刷的这种方式，便捷。
movable type printing. And we talk about
那么
that
应该说
metal
这个
way
效
of
率很高
printing
所以他们
also
传播得
fits
很快。
in
所以在
in
世
the
界文明发展里面
letter
活字
characters.
印刷应该说是非常
So that's also inspired by the Chinese movable type printing. We talk about printing as also considered as the mother of civilization. And now we're coming to the era of globalization. The invention and spread of the movable type printing, we talk about that. The diversity spurs interaction among civilizations, which in turn promotes mutual learning and further development. That's also what history tells us, that exchange and mutual learning can help us enhance the understanding of the value of different civilizations and promote the development of a community with a shared future for mankind. We talk about now the kids, when they study the Chinese civilization, Chinese history, they also actually learn the civilizations in different countries and also do the comparisons. And we also have one last question.
从小父母带我游览过百余家博物馆，可以说我是在博物馆中成长起来的。
I can tell you that I grew up in museums. I have visited more than 100 museums and really love the charm of civilizations. And so my question to you is how you think about the interaction happened between the Chinese culture and the Chinese characters. It's a really big question. It's really hard to answer. We talk about that from oracle bones to the brownware to bamboo slips to paper making to the movable type printing. We still need to decode the Chinese civilization. If you look in a vertical manner, we talk about because of the invention of characters, because of invention of the ways of writing things down, that we right now could bring our experience, our knowledge, generation to generations. That's based on the materials of writing and the way of writing. If we look horizontally, that cultures can be exchanged. And we can learn from each other. If we talk about the human civilization, and a lot of things can be accumulated. And a human civilization, each and every step we make moving forward, has also the accumulated assets. And we always need to remember the journey, how we made all this journey to where we are today. We talk about the accumulated knowledge, accumulated progress of a civilization, accumulated value. And all could carry it forward generation by generation. We talk about all these, the civilization and characters are actually the DNA and the secrets in between.
这1个多小时的直播里面，我们所感受到的中国文化之光和文明之光，从孕育发展。
So today, that's our first day of special event as a global museum director's choice as the treasure hunting relay. We talk about that's something that's the great assets left to us by our ancestors. We talk about this is a very special event as that's hand in hand to share the splendor of world civilizations. Please always stay tuned with CGTN New Media. We will show you more beauty of the world civilization Globalization, and we talk about that the National Museum of China and also 33 leading museums at home and abroad will gather online to jointly hold the event, Treasure Hunt Relay. Thank you so much, the director. Thank you so much. Thank you, all the viewers. And also, if you have a chance, do visit the National Museum of China. So throughout the lines, throughout the characters, you can understand China.
大家好，我是故宫博物院常务副院长楼伟。
Hello to all.
第二届全
My
球
name
博
is
物
Lo
馆
Wei.
珍藏展示在线接力活
And
动
the
正式启动。
second
作
online
为接力的
event
一员，
started
我们
today.
将以云端分享方
As
式
one of
向
the
全球观众呈现故
museum
宫博物院
director,
收藏的珍
we
贵文
will
物
show
的
you
历史价
the
值、
eight
文
great
化价
treasures
值、
here
审美价值、
in the
科
Palace
技价值
Museum.
和时代价值，与大家共享中华文明之美。在此，我代表故宫博物院全体
So
同
we
仁，
can
预
understand
祝此
the
次
eight
活动
beauty
取得
of
圆满
China
成功，并
and
与参
wish
加
a
接力
great
活动的
success
各
of
国
the
博物馆一
event.
起，通过网络平台向世界展示文物的独
And
特魅
on
力，
this online
真正实现
platform, we
各
will
美其
show
美、
you
美
the
人之美、
unique beauty
美美与共，
and charm
为
of a
促进
different
文明交流
collection.
互鉴、构进人类命运共同
pieces.
体做出我们的贡献。谢谢大家。
文明因多样而交流，因交流而互鉴，因互鉴而发展。祝贺手拉手，共享世界文明之美。全球博物馆珍藏展示在线接力活动顺利举
So
行。
congratulations
让
to
我
the
们
a
通过
second
云端的互
online
联互通、交流、
events.
融合、发展。
So
我是南京
nice.
博物院公良。
Let's let the A collection pieces talk by themselves.
以及所有
And
隐含
also
的
from Nanjing Museum, we are ready to show you the collections we have to show you the original feature of Nanjing.
大家好，我是湖南省博物馆副馆长陈旭良。
Hello to you
感谢
from
中国国家博物
Hunan
馆邀请
Museum.
博物馆参与，手拉手共享世界文
Thank
明之
you.
美。第二届全球博物
National
馆珍
Museum
藏
of
展
China
在线
invite
接
us
力
to join
在
a
世界
special
各国日益
event
成为命运共同体的21世纪，文明交流互鉴
in the
已成为
21st
推动人类
century.
进步、
The
世界和平的
globalization
重
bring
要
all the
动力。
countries together.
作为
I
中华
believe
区域文
that
化的
the
优秀
human
代表，
civilization
湖
also
湘文
made
化
a great
源远流
contribution
长，湖湘
to
起
the
码
world
绵延
peace
不绝。湖
and
南
development.
愿与世界分享它的山川风物
Hunan
之
would
美
like to
历
share
史人文之韵。后疫情时
our
代，全球
history
博物馆珍藏展示在线接力
and
活动举办
civilization with
颇
the
具创
world.
新，意义重大。在此，衷心祝愿本次活动取得圆满成功。
I hope a great success of the event.
大家好，我是河南博物院院长马晓林。
Hello to you from Hunan Museum.
天涯若比邻，手拉手，共享世界文明之美。
Distance cannot stop
全球
us
博物馆
from
珍藏展示
exchanging
在线接力活动，让我们
civilizations
共聚云端，
among
共
countries.
享人类
Let's
文明精髓。
Join our hands online to enjoy the beauty of human civilization.
我是陕西历史博物馆的馆长侯
Hello
立
to
斌。
you from
热
Shanxi
烈祝贺手拉手
Historical
共享世界文
Museum.
明之美
Congratulations
第二届全
to
球博物
the
馆珍藏展示在
the
线接力
second
活动
event
盛大开幕。文物
of
承
this
载灿烂
online
文明，传承
special
历史文化，
treasure
维系
hunting
民族
relay.
精神，是祖先留给我们的宝贵遗产。保护遗产，
So we
传承
should
文明，
cherish
弘
the
扬文化，
assets
是全
left
球
by
共
our
同的责任和
ancestors.
担当。
And
让
we
我们
believe
携起
that's
手
the
来，
a
共享
shared
人类创
responsibility
造
to
之美。
promote our human civilization.
我是浙江省博物馆馆长陈水华，很高兴。
Hello to you from Zhejiang Museum. I'm very glad that the Zhejiang Museum have the chance to join this special event, Treasure Hunt Relay.
通过网络平台向世界展示
Through this
博物馆
online
的
platform,
玉琮
we'd like to show the world
等馆藏
the
珍品
A collection,
分享浙江特色
especially
文化
our special
祝愿此次
musical
活动圆满
instrument
成
to
功
the world to
让
share
观
you
众
the
能
beauty
够
of
足不出
Zhejiang,
户
wish a great
感
success
受到
of this
文化的魅
event.
力
So just stay at home, but you can travel around the world.
全球微博界的朋友们，大家好。
Hello to
我是山西博物
you
院院
from
长
Shanxi
张
Museum.
元成，很荣幸能与各位馆长相聚云端，
It's our
共
honor
同参与
to join
手拉
with
手
other
共享
directors of the
世界
museum
文明之美。
to
第二
gather
届全球
online
博物馆珍藏展示在线
to
接力活动。
engage in the
中国
event.
是世界4大文明古国，山西是中华文明的重要发祥地，其丰厚而珍贵的历史文化遗产。
China is
见证
one
了
of the country
中国
with ancient
5000年
civilization,
文明的
and
历史
also
进程。山西博物
Shanxi
院
is also one of the
珍藏的
important
50
places
余万件文物
to understand
序列
the
完整
history of China,
积累丰富
and we
特
have
色鲜
the
明
a collection
是
of more than
实证
5,000
中华100余
pieces.
年的人类史、10000余年的文化史、1000余年的文明史的珍贵史料。山西博物院愿与全球博物馆同仁一
Shanxi
并努力，
Museum would like to
感知文明，
hand
触
in
摸历
hand
史，
with the
促进
museums around
世
the
界文
world
明对话，
to
让文明
cherish
在交流互
the
鉴中
civilization
绽放出
and also
更加
let the
绚丽多
civilization
彩的
exchange
光芒。
themselves to show their unique beauty.
我是福建省文物局局长，福建博物
Hello
院
to you
院
from
长
a
傅其
Fujian
生
Museum.
手拉手，共享世界文明之美，馆并馆，同筑全球
Hand
文
in
化之
hand,
力。
share the
我谨代
splendor
表
of
福建
world
博物院全体
civilizations
同
on
仁，
behalf
恭
of
祝
Fujian
第二届
Museum.
全球博物馆
We
珍藏展
wish
示在
a
线
great
接力活动
success
圆满成
of
功。
this special event.
大家好，我是甘肃省博物馆
Hello
馆
to
长
you
贾
from
江
Gansu Provincial
中华
Museum.
文明源远流长，博大精深，对世界文
Chinese
明的发展做
civilizations
出了重大
enjoyed
贡
a
献。
long history, making great contribution to the world civilization. Gansu is also one of the key origin of the Chinese
也是
civilization,
东西方文明交流融合的
especially
重
the
要舞
Huangxia
台，
civilization,
向世界
also
展
a
示文化
key
遗产的魅力
stage
是甘肃省博物馆人的重要
for
使命。
the Western
甘
and
肃省
Eastern
博物馆
cultural
将倾情
exchange.
助力第二届全球博物
Gansu
馆
Museum
珍
is
藏展
ready
示在线接力活动，
to show
带
you
您追
the
溯历史，
collection we
倾
have,
听文物的声音，
to let's
讲
travel
述
back
文物背
to
后
the
的故
history
事。
and listen to the voice and sound of the collection.
This is Alexei Levikin from the State Historical Museum of Russia. I am very happy to participate in hand-in-hand share the splendor of world civilization relay project. I hope to introduce you our splendid collection and share our treasures with you. I hope you will enjoy my introduction and come to see these treasures in person in future.
Greetings, dear colleagues. My name is Elena Gagarina. I am General Director of the Moscow Kremlin Museums. Our museum is happy to participate in the hand-in-hand Share the Splendor of World Civilization project. We hope to familiarize our colleagues from China with masterpieces of the Amory Chamber Museum Treasury, which stores the collection of arts and crafts closely related to the history of Moscow Kremlin. It is the Amory Chamber where one can see ancient state regalia, ceremonial royal garments, the largest collection of gold and silverware made by Russian craftsmen, as well as exquisite examples of arms craftsmanship and the collection of West European silver. We will be glad to tell about the key exhibits of our collection, which include crowns of Tsarevich Peter and Tsarevich Ivan, coronation robe of Empress Catherine the Great, imperial Easter egg with bouquet of lilies by Karl Fabergé Fern, the Saradak, bowl case and quiver of the grand attire, which belonged to Tsar Mikhail Fyodorovich. Ensemble of the Moscow Kremlin holds a distinguished position as regards of the development of Russian culture, and it is on UNESCO World Heritage List. This city, inside the city, has been developed throughout the centuries, and today it preserves architectural monuments of the 14th, 20th centuries, among which are magnificent palaces and churches such as Patriarch's Palace, Assumption, the Church of the Deposition of the Robe, Archangel and Annunciation cathedrals, and Ivan the Great Bell Tower complex. From our part, we will do our best to create more projects, cultural and social relations between the key Moscow Museum and museums of China.
I'm Ahmed Magga, Director of National Museum of Music, Morocco. I'm very happy to participate in Hand, Share the Splendor of World Civilization online project. I hope to introduce to you our splendid collection and share our treasures with you. I hope you will enjoy my introduction and come to see these treasures in person in the future.
Soy Andrés Duprat, director del Museo Nacional de Bellas Artes de Argentina, y estoy muy honrado de participar del proyecto Hand in Hand y de compartir una selección del importante acervo de la colección del museo con ustedes. Deseo por último que luego de la pandemia puedan venir a visitar el museo y tener una experiencia personal por nuestra hermosa colección.
Hello and welcome, or in the language of the first peoples of this place, Wominjeka. My name is Lindley Crosswell and I'm CEO and Director of Museums Victoria, Australia's largest museum organisation based in Melbourne, Australia. We're delighted to be taking part in this exciting initiative, the Hand in Hand, Share the Splendour of the World Civilizations Relay Project. I hope you enjoy this brief introduction to our museum collections, and we all look forward to seeing you at our museums soon.
안녕하세요. 대한민국 국립중앙박물관 학예연구실장 윤성용입니다. 이번 행사에 초청해 주신 중국 국가박물관 왕춘파 관장님께 감사드립니다. 또 중국 국가박물관 설립 110주년을 축하드립니다. 지난 2년이 넘도록 코로나19로 인해 전 세계 모든 나라와 국민들이 매우 힘든 시간을 보냈습니다. 박물관, 미술관 등 문화기관들은 이런 어려움 속에서도 국민들에게 고품격 문화 서비스를 제공하기 위해 부단히 노력해왔습니다. 이번 온라인 행사는 코로나19로 인하여 여전히 박물관을 방문하지 못하는 국민들에게 각 박물관의 다양한 전시와 소장품을 소개해 드릴 수 있는 좋은 기회라고 생각합니다. 우리 국립중앙박물관은 이번 행사에서 상설전시관의 주요 전시들과 국보급 문화유산, 그리고 고 이건희 삼성그룹 회장의 기증품들을 상세하게 소개하고 있습니다. 전 세계 관람객들이 한국의 문화유산과 역사를 이해하는 데 도움이 될 것이라 생각합니다. 올해 들어 많은 나라들이 점차 방역 조치들을 해제하거나 완화하여 국립중앙박물관을 비롯한 전 세계 많은 문화기관들이 다양한 전시와 문화 프로그램들을 준비하여 오프라인으로 관람객들을 맞이하고 있습니다. 조만간 여러분들이 직접 국립중앙박물관을 방문하는 날을 손꼽아 기다리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Welcome to Hand in Hand, Share the Splendor of World Civilization. I am Nitya Kanok Mongkol from the Office of National Museums, Bangkok, Thailand. It's my pleasure to take part in this project, Hand in Hand, Share the Splendor of World Civilization as the representative of Thailand. I am very honored to convey the exquisite culture and history of the Kingdom of Thailand to global audience via this project. We are proud to present the selected popular collections that illustrate the beauty and value of the ancient treasures. With a historical background and splendid appearance, I hope you enjoy watching and get useful information. We are happy to be a part of historical and cultural knowledge expansion through our international museum networks. I do hope we can continue our collaborations, working hand in hand to enhance the knowledge power and continuous development of international museums. And I hope that you will visit our local museums to see these treasures in person in the future. Finally, I would like to take this special opportunity to congratulate the National Museum of China for the 110th anniversary celebrating the long history and powerful role in global museum network. We look forward to participating in our mutual future developments. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Kenny Ting from Asian Civilizations Museum in Singapore. I am absolutely delighted to be part of Hand in Hand sharing the splendor of world civilizations. I look forward to sharing some of my favorite objects at ACM in the upcoming videos. And in the meantime, I wish you well, and I hope also to welcome you to Singapore and ACM very soon.